everybody to our November 17, 2016 Board of Education meeting. Ms. Rucker, can I have roll call?
Ms. Arnold.
Here.
Ms. Hunt.
Here.
Mr. Morrison.
Here.
Ms. Regano.
Here.
Mr. Taylor.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Please stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I sit on all these books. Let's go. It's let off. Okay. Just saying. Okay. Okay, so we're into presentations.
Thank you, Mrs. Regano. Mrs. Regano, members of the board, we do have one presentation this evening, and that's an update on our straight A grants. And I would like to recognize the hard work that really our whole curriculum department has done, specifically Mr. Jason Enix and Beth Sizemore. Beth is our grant writer, so Beth is the one that holds us all in compliance and watches all those pieces as well. And Mr. Bando is here as well, and Todd kind of watches over our D labs, and so they all have a different area that they cover, but Beth really is the mother hen of those grants, and so we are so fortunate to have her, and yeah, very appreciative. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Enix. He wants to give you a broad overview of where we stand with all 5 of those programs.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the chance to share a little bit about what we're doing with our straight A grants currently. As you know, we have 2 grants that are in process right now for fiscal year 14 and fiscal year 15, as well as 3 additional grants that were brought up to us this summer. And I'd like to just take a few minutes to go over some recent updates, not get too deep into any one grant, but just a broad overview of each of them. The first one I'd like to speak about is what's called Sparking Innovation. That was from fiscal year 14. This was our round 1 grant that really brought eSpark Learning into a partnership here at Beavercreek City Schools. This is a 3rd year of implementation, and this was a K-8 grant that really brought diagnosing student levels into the classroom through something called MAP testing, utilizing that data to funnel to eSpark Learning, which then in turn provided students the proper applications on their iPads that helps them to meet them where they are and to help grow them in their skills. At the root of this was a K-8 initiative that brought iPads one-to-one to our students in grades K through 8. And we have, again, in the year 3 of this, we are continuing on course with expectations, and from a compliance standpoint, we are in very good shape. Just from an update standpoint, one of the key components of this grant was MAP testing, as I mentioned earlier, measures of academic progress. And this is something that our students go through 3 times a year, typically fall, late winter, and spring assessment. And this is a nationally normed assessment that it certainly is a major factor in getting eSpark and the applications for our students. But what we found was a little bit lost in this process was understanding all the value that MAP reports could provide to teachers in terms of diagnosing student learning concerns, determining where their what's called a RIT score, or their readiness for learning score. And what we provided this fall was an opportunity for a Hamilton County ESC employee that I actually used to work with when I was in Lebanon, came to Beavercreek on 8 separate days and provided 1-hour training sessions for our entire K-8 staff. And this was a tremendously valuable learning opportunity for our staff, and it was met with incredible positive reactions from all of our staff. And so this was a really good add-on for this year with this grant, because it's not just about what eSpark Learning is providing and what our students are doing with their iPads, but utilizing the data from MAP reports. And so we're very proud of being able to provide that to our staff this year, and actually have some fun follow-up on our professional development days. One of the other issues that we have been able to handle this year so far was another part of BOE compliance. Just last week, we had a representative from OTE on site to do a focus group with our staff as well as with our administrators. And we had, I believe it was 10 staff members from all the elementaries and middle schools that were a focus group. This was a blind focus group, and then we did not know any of the questioning that was going to take place. We provided them the space, and they came in and met with our staff for about an hour and 15 minutes. And they followed up a couple of days later with myself and all of our curriculum supervisors that we were able to answer the questions. It was part of the compliance piece, which is a focus group site visit for us. And then finally, student progress, 7th and 8th grade. What we're finding is that our students are performing very well. What we are kind of effectively calling graduating from East Park. Students have reached the plateau of where East Park can take them in terms of their levels and their growth. And so that's quite an accomplishment for our students. We have a large number of students that are reaching either close to that area or have reached it already. And that's a very positive thing for our students. And we are looking to see how we can best continue to provide them opportunities to meet their needs in the classroom. I'd like to let you know that Julie Taylor, who's not with us tonight, she is our lead person for our East Park grant, along with Todd. And together they help manage this grant from implementation and compliance standpoint along with that. So we really have a collaborative effort. I'll echo what Mr. Otten said. Our curriculum department spends a great deal of time working with making sure we implement these to the level that we need to, and they are a tremendously valuable asset to the straight A grants, among many other things. Our round 2 grant was developing student innovators and entrepreneurs. This was a fiscal year 15 grant. The picture that you see there is from one of our design thinking labs. And I don't know which one. Todd could probably tell us right off the top of his head. That looks like the high school. Todd is really, again, the custodian of our D labs and does a fantastic job of not only managing those, but really being hands-on and on-site with our teachers and our students on a regular basis, providing them additional support and resources for those classrooms. Again, we call them the D labs. We were able to expand beyond the scope of the grant into our 6th and 7th and 8th grade. 6th and 7th grade is the expansion. 8 through 12 is what the grant initially was for. From a next steps perspective, Todd is working diligently to develop partnerships within the area community to work with our students and the results of our student work to get, again, working at development and partnership phase with the local business community, as well as looking at how we can get some of our students that are at high school involved in internships. And that's a new phase for this project that is very exciting, and that we can, again, partner with some local businesses that may be able to use our students and our thinking and thought power of our students within their business. And so we're excited about that. Todd, the guy, is working quite diligently with that. And in fact, is meeting with folks on a regular basis to see how we can further improve this situation for our students. So again, great job by him. We have 3 new grants, as I mentioned earlier. These are what's called the grant year, which means it's the planning and getting ready for implementation year. The first one I'd like to discuss is the Museum Learning Grant. Again, this was a round 4 grant that came about this summer. And essentially what the museum grant is going to allow us to do is to work in a K-5 environment, kindergarten to 5th grade, in project-based learning. And this is a very, very powerful learning and engaging tool for our students. We have, through the grant funds, been able to, as well as our trainer that we're working with in project-based learning, are able to provide the training for that initiative for every single elementary staff person, grades K through 5. It's a very exciting opportunity. They will start that in January and conclude in February. It's a 3-day training where they are able to build their own projects during the training. It's not just a sit and get type of training, but actual construction and building of the project. Very great training. We're very fortunate to have the ability to train all of our staff in that way. Our curriculum supervisor, who is not with us tonight, that leads this, is Ruth Wiley. The reason that Ruth is not with us tonight is she is with all of our elementary principals currently at Normal Park Elementary in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They spent today at Normal Park, which is a well-known school that focuses on museum learning. And so in order to really get a good sense of what we're embarking on, I thought it was important to have our principals go and see it firsthand. And so they are currently doing that with Ruth, and from all indications today, they've had a very, very productive day. Very, very proud to hear that they've got some great ideas coming back. So we're excited about that. They're also in the midst of working with their building level teams as well as the district team for a kickoff event, hopefully scheduled sometime in January to really raise the interest and engagement with their staff as we continue to build towards implementation of the museum grants next year. Round 4 continues with Igniting Innovation. What has been called Ignite is also called Frontier. Again, with our partnership with eLead, with East Park Learning, we had an opportunity to attend an eLead summit in Chicago several weeks ago, where this product Frontier was really kind of front and center. And what's exciting about this opportunity is Frontier is currently billed as really a 3 through 8 tool for our students. Again, loosely centered in project-based learning. We have this grant from a 9-12 perspective. And while it's in its infancy stages, what's exciting about this for our district is that they are wanting to partner with us based on our previous history with them to build their product using our staff, using our standards in our classrooms to help really kick off Frontier as a really dynamic platform for project-based learning in our district. So we are currently in the process of getting our early adopters trained. Our high school staff, approximately 24 or so, they finished up day 2 of their project-based learning training today. They have their 3rd day tomorrow. And this group has also had their initial training from eLead as well on the Frontier platform. And so our next steps then are to help them build up the understanding of how project-based learning and Frontier will fit together, and in collaboration with our friends from eLead, or Sankey I'm sorry, from East Park, that we will continue to help them developing their product. And again, it's a collaboration between our district and the organization. It's been very, very good collaboration there, and fantastic group of people to work with. Again, the crux of this particular grant is, again, a one-to-one initiative. So our high school beginning next year will be one-to-one Chromebooks as opposed to the iPads from K-8. And the main purpose for that is Frontier is a Google-based platform, which means Chromebooks are the best tool to use to access Frontier. And the final grant to give you an update on is Learning Takes Flight, again from this summer. The picture there is the jet that's currently on site at the International Airport. We are currently working with contractors for quotes on moving and getting the jets prepared for usage, as well as meeting with partners throughout the region that were written into the grant as in terms of determining our next action steps to take. We have spent some time in the curriculum office developing what was built to be a K-12 curriculum. And while we didn't go into the real details of that, because part of the grant had our partners really developing the true curriculum, what we spent some time doing was looking at the standards at K-12 where the curriculum could be developed that fit in with the spirit of the grant, as well as some of the materials and items that would be expected to be a part of that curriculum. And so that's been developed at this point to the level that we can anyway. And the final thing that we've been working on is analyzing some of the immediate and recurring ongoing costs that are associated with the JETS placement here in the district and working through this grant. So it's still in kind of the infancy stages of development, but we are, again, as part of the grant year, continuing to work on all of the partnerships and preparations for this particular grant as well. And again, we want to give a very much a thankful word to Beth as she keeps us in compliance. And I can't state the importance of that enough. It is, when the state provides these grant funds, there's quite a bit of oversight that happens as a result. And if we don't follow that oversight to the letter, we have we have some issues to deal with. And with having 5 grants that have that level of oversight from the state, having someone who not only is incredibly knowledgeable of the grants, how to work through the compliance system is tremendously valuable. So I'd like to, again, appreciate Beth for all the work that she does to make this happen for our district.
And I want to just add one thing. Sorry, Beth, to keep putting you on the spot here, but we attended a kickoff up in Columbus for new grant winners. We're not shouldn't say new, but in districts who were awarded a grant. And I will tell you, what was nice was watching Beth starting to talk in front of these other districts about compliance and what that looks like. And I mean, it's good, it's comforting as a superintendent to know that you have someone of that magnitude, that everybody was she was like, I think it's E.F. Hutton, and she was talking to everybody was listening, and they were asking questions. So we're very fortunate to have her on board. So sorry to embarrass you, but
One
well
here.
worth it.
Yeah.
What's
I hope to keep
there is-
embarrassing you in many meetings, so keep
It's
that.
the acknowledgement of great work, is what it
Yeah.
is. And again, we very much appreciate that. So
And we know that you have put a lot into it too. We
it's
need to.
it's a group effort.
It is a
Really,
group
we
effort,
spend a
but
lot of
I
time
know
doing
how
it.
much you have put into this too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is I need motion and second to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Okay, please call the vote.
Mrs. Hunt?
Yes.
Ms. Arnold? Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
Ms. Regano?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, board reports, we have two. We have on the athletic council, Mr. Morrison.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Regano. The athletic council did not meet, but at the same time, I would feel like I would be remiss if I did not make a comment on the fall season that our athletic programs and all of our teams had. All of them did an outstanding job, but when you have 3 of your fall teams make it to the state level of competition, I think that's absolutely phenomenal. I know that I was privileged, and Mrs. Hunt, we attended the regional finals in boys soccer, where we defeated Springboro. That was awesome. The atmosphere was unbelievable. And we also attended the state semifinal game against St. Charles. The outcome wasn't what we wanted, but it was still an outstanding game. So I certainly want to congratulate Coach Giuliano as well as all the players for a fantastic season. And then when you have not just one team, but both teams, boys and girls cross country, not only make it to the state, but do well at the state level of competition with young runners, so the future definitely bodes well. Congratulations to Coach Russ and all the runners for just a phenomenal season.
Yeah, thank you. And Mr. Nels from County Career Center.
Thank you. Well, if you recall at the last meeting, I asked for your support of the Greene County Career Center in their levy, and I'm happy to report that it passed with some phenomenal percentages with rounding error, 60% to 40% against, which I think all of you who've worked on levies know that's pretty good. One of the things I found interesting is during presidential election years, we usually have a high turnout, but oftentimes voters, after they do that, skip the rest of the ballot. And in the case of the Career Center, only 4% difference between who voted for the presidential election versus our levy, which I thought was rather phenomenal as well. So I want to thank the citizens of Beavercreek and also the support of the board for their continued support of the good work that the Career Center is doing, and we will not disappoint you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations to the Career Center, that's great. Yeah. Okay, no questions or comments from the public, so we go on to approval of minutes held. So I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes for the October 11, 2016 special meeting and the October 20th, 2016 regular meeting.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion on the meetings?
Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
Ms. Hunt?
Yes.
Ms. Arnold? Ms. Regano?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We need a motion and second to approve the financial reports for October 2016, and October 2016, donated items on pages 66 and 82. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Look at this.
Yes, I just want to say to the board that we are still in alignment with our 5-year forecast. We are about $53,000 short of what we thought we would collect year to date, but that ebbs and flows, so we don't think it'll be a problem. And as far as expenditures, we're under about $77,000, so we're at minus 0.28%. So we're in good shape.
Thank you, Mrs. Rucker.
So what you're really saying is you're at 99.72% accuracy.
Here, thank you, Mr. Morrison. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. Call the roll, please.
Ms. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Ms. Arnold? Yes. Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
Ms. Regano?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're on to new business. I need a motion and second for employment, salary, leave of absence, terminations on page 83. Rule of type, here, 05. Okay. Okay, reimbursements, page 89, sorry. Oh, that's it. Sorry, let's go on to the, yeah, that's it, just two.
So moved.
Any discussion?
The only thing I'd like to share with the board is item B, approval of type 4 reimbursements. Those are the typical reimbursements. Last month we talked about 4 and 6, so these are just 3 students that it's impractical for the district to transport those students, so they'll be reimbursed.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay.
Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
Ms. Arnold? Ms. Hunt? Yes. Ms. Regano?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Motion carries.
So we're now on to superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Regano. Mr. Regano, members of the board, I have 3 items just to share with you this evening. The first one is the first reading of Neola Policy 5112, which is entrance requirements. We shared this last month, and we will do a final reading next month. This would be moving our entrance date for kindergarten and first grade students from the September 30th date to the August 1st date. I just want to remind the board and our community, this change does not occur for next school year, but it will occur for the following. So the 17-18 school year, we will maintain our current practice, and then 18-19, we will move to an August 1st date. The reason for that delay is to allow our parents time to plan and prepare for that change with their children. So we will bring that back for approval at our next meeting. Any questions about that? Okay, item B is a date change for the December board meeting. I wanted to reach out to the board. There is a very large event that is taking place on the same evening that our board meeting is scheduled. I believe it's December 15th. And would like to ask the board, I threw out a few ideas to the board. I think most of you have replied back with different ideas. We talked about either moving the board meeting forward on that date, and the concert that's occurring that evening is at 6:30. So if we wanted to move it forward, I would push for a 5 o'clock start time to make sure we're finished, so that might be a little tight. The other 2 dates that we presented to the board were the 13th and 20th, and it appears that the 13th was the date that most individuals could make. So my recommendation to the board is to move it to the 13th of December at 6:30. If that works.
Good.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Then you will notice on the announcements, I've left that blank, so we will add that in there. We'll put it as December 13th at 6:30 p.m. And we will send that notice out as well. The last item is I'd like to ask the board if we could hold a special meeting or a work session, we can call it either one, to have a work session on November 29th. And that would be at 5 o'clock here. And the purpose of that meeting is for one item only, and that would be discuss the financial picture of the district. Mrs. Rucker and I have had the opportunity to really dig into what our 5-year forecast looks like and what that projects out for the district. And instead of just moving forward and looking at what a possible May renewal may look like, we really feel that we need to get out to the community to try to give a bigger picture of what the future holds for the district. We think there's some things that we could do to change our financial picture for the better down the road. So we'd like to have that meeting on the 29th at 5, and you notice we have a 5 to 7. So our goal is to have an end time of that meeting so that we can plan accordingly. But we would also have Chris Moore from K-12 Consulting here to assist us through that conversation. Obviously, that would be open to the public as well, but it really gives us an opportunity to dig into that. Any questions about that? Okay, I don't have this item on the agenda, but I would like to share this with the board. I think this is an appropriate time to do that. And that is a letter that I received. I was carbon copied on, but it was sent to Dale Wren, principal at Ankeny Middle School. And I'd just like to read it to you because I think it's some pretty good news. And it says, "Dear Principal Wren, congratulations. It's my honor to inform you that Ohio State Board of Education has granted Herman K. Ankeny Middle School the 2016 Momentum Award. The Momentum Award recognizes schools that have received A's on every value-added measure included on the 2016 Ohio School Report Card. For your students, you are keeping the learning momentum high. Your report card for the 15-16 school year indicates that your pupils made greater than expected progress in reading and mathematics. This is especially commendable because you no doubt have a diverse array of students whose educational backgrounds and learning needs vary. As a winner of the Momentum Award, you are part of a group of schools that has shown that children of every background and ability level can achieve. Members of the State Board of Education appreciate your leadership and dedication of your staff to achieve this success. Please convey our thanks to your teachers, support staff, and parents for believing that every child can succeed academically and for making sure that every child does. Yours is a great example for the Ohio schools. Sincerely, Tom Gunlock, President of the State Board of Education." So that is a great honor for our district to have a school recognized. And so I just want to share that with you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Go
Yeah.
Beavers, go Beavercreek.
And that concludes my superintendent report.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're on to announcements. And it's hard to believe, but no school because Thanksgiving vacation, November 23rd to the 25th. Well, it's hard to believe it's moving along. Of course, the next Board of Education meeting, like we just decided, will be December 13, 2016, right here at 6:30. And we're on to board comments. We're going to start with Mr. Marston.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay then, watch this. Mrs. Arnold.
Well, happy to be here. Not here 100%, but I'm kicking.
We're going to film better.
Yeah, thank you.
Mrs. Hyde.
Just going on with
I'm all I see, just everyone going
Keeping us on our
tonight.
toes. Well, glad to see everybody. Enjoyed going to the OSBA conference this week. Most of us were able to be there, some members of the cabinet. Got to, my favorite part of that whole event is the student achievement fairs. We've gone there and gone to each of the booths, all these different schools throughout our district to present ideas and different things that they're doing in their district. And so many of them are student-led, and I've gotten some information about how we can get some of our kids there next year, our staff members, or a combination of those, because I think we have some equally great things going on. I'd love to see us showcased at that event next year.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Moore.
Thanks all for coming. I agree with Krista that it was a real highlight of my time when I was at BA, and I really would implore those that are in power to do that, to see that Beavercreek is represented next year. It is a tremendous opportunity from the standpoint of being a teacher, it was incredibly interesting to talk to small groups of kids who were so interested in the things that they were doing. It's just, oh my God, I wish my classroom had been like that every day. So,
That hovercraft, the hovercraft.
oh, the hovercraft, oh yeah.
I could just throw in, we have
Oh yeah.
plenty of
Yeah.
presentations there. And it's always a good idea to take one of the show choirs. I mean, we've done that, several times with the high school and the middle school. The band's a little big to take that on, but they all fit in the hall.
I don't know, we can try, but yeah, get that band in there.
But it has been a while, I think,
Yep,
you know.
sure enough.
Well, I think the entrance to that building, we get the band in there, bring them in from all the entrances, that would make a statement. Okay, well, just you need to know, we should make a
The
statement.
12 buses parked outside.
And you know, the buses will say, Beavercreek City Schools.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah, maybe that could be like lunchtime or.
I don't know, but, you know, they really need to be, they have a keynote speaker. So I checked out, have they got to be fit superintendent of that district, so that's, we need to be up there, but just saying. Anyway, you never know. We deserve to be there. Anyway, I want to thank Mel Canfield for inviting us to, and Ms. Raleigh there to her design lab. That is one great class. I love that classroom. It is just like nothing else. I mean, that is a cool place to be, those kids with these projects. I mean, it's the hands-on, and it relates to real life experiences, and they've got to figure out all these problems and compromise, and that's just a neat place to be. And the 6th grade band concert, I just want to say, God bless those teachers, because I'm just saying, these are brand new kids learning to play instruments. And the progress they have made between August and now was amazing. And the way they entered that concert was in March as the high school marching band. And what was so neat was that it showed these kids what they could aspire to be. And that was just wonderful. And then cabaret, I'm telling you, I was probably the only person in the audience, television, that did not know these little black people, paper people, were dropping from the ceiling. I was too busy crying and looking at them, okay? But that was an incredible performance, and I just want everybody to know that this Saturday at 6 o'clock at the Green, our Beavercreek marching band will be marching through the Green performing. So bundle up, it's going to be cold, but it's worth seeing them. And also on December 12th is the holiday band concert. I don't know the time, it didn't say what, And also December 15th, that's a choir concert at 6:30. And this is important, December 2nd to the 4th is their fruit sale. And that's where they raise a lot of money for instruments, for uniforms. And I'm going to tell you, those grapefruits and navel oranges really are pretty fabulous. I mean, we buy them every year. We could actually sell them after a while, but no, I'm just saying, it's like, I think we scared one kid once. He came to the door and he said, I'm from Beavercreek marching band. I said, sold! I don't care if you're selling dirt, we'll take it. So it's like, I said, don't scare these kids. But okay. So be looking for these kids to come to your neighborhood because it's worth buying for them, and they're great kids.
And believe me, they don't miss a house.
Oh, that was, it's like, but, between our band kids, our athletic kids, we just have an incredible group of kids in this school system. We are so fortunate to have the kids we have and the teachers we have. And I'm going to add in the central office staff. You people are amazing. All I hear from this community is, we love the new superintendent. We love the new central office staff. So thank you all, and to all of you, have a very fabulous Thanksgiving, a blessed Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, have safe travels. And with that, I need a motion to go into executive session for A, the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of public employees, policy 121.22, G1, B, court action policy 12122, G3, 10-year imminent litigation, and C, the purchase or sale of real estate policy 12122G2, G2, I'm sorry. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and there will be no action taken tonight. So I
Mr.
vote
Morrison?
Yes.
Ms. Arnold? Yes. Ms. Hunt?
Yes.
Ms. Regano?
yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
That's it. Thanks everybody for coming.